Hey, welcome to Strength Training Exercises for Runners and Triathletes from Coastal Sports and Wellness Medical Center. We have 6 exercises we're going to be going over today for runners and triathletes. First one's a single leg squat touch, followed by the single leg deadlift touch, a modified push-up, the abdominal plank, Supermans, and the external hip rotations. Now the first exercise is that single leg squat touch. And this is really good for building up glute and quad muscle strength. You can begin by just lifting one foot off the ground, just about 1 inch, so it's just slightly off the ground. Now the leg that you're still standing on, you're going to bend slightly and try to sit down into this squat. You want to try to keep that lifted leg just off the ground, don't let it raise on up. And then as you reach the bottom of the squat, reach over and touch the stance leg with the opposite hand. So as you look at the picture on the right here, Evan's reaching on over with his right hand to touch his left toe, which is his stance leg. The single leg deadlift touch is our second exercise, and this one you're going to begin with 1 foot off the ground just like we did in the single leg squat touch. But in this one what you're going to do is bend forward at the hip on the stance leg and extend out the back leg. And your goal is to kind of keep the lifted leg, hip, back, and head all in a straight line as you see in the picture on the right. And once you reach that position at a 90-degree angle, the hip, reach over and touch the stance leg with the opposite hand. So again, Evan, in our picture on the right, is reaching over with the right hand to touch the left foot. The modified push-up is done on the stomach, the knees bent to 90 degrees, and this should be easy enough where even folks that don't have a lot of upper body strength should be able to do. You want to push in the position the hands slightly wider than the shoulders and push away from the floor. Now make sure that you maintain that plank position by contracting the abdominal muscles, and this will keep the upper legs, the hips, and the shoulders and head all in a straight line. You want to fully extend the arms and then slowly lower back down to the floor. And as you lower the body back down, aim for the mat with the chest and not with the hips. So you don't want to bend at the waist as you're doing this. The next one is the abdominal plank. You begin face down with the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. So it's a slightly more narrow position than we did in the modified push-up. You want to contract the abdominal muscles and lift the midsection off the mat. So only the elbows and toes are touching the floor. Hold this position for 10 to 20 seconds and then lower yourself back down to relax. Again, you can do these in sets of 10. Now as you're doing this, make sure that you maintain a straight line between the ankles, hips, shoulders, and ears, and maintain that position by pulling on the top of the pelvis by tightening up the abdominal muscles. And really what you want to feel is almost drawing in that belly button towards the spine. Supermans should be familiar to most folks. You're going to begin with the laying face down with the arms extended. And the key point to this exercise is squeeze your glutes and contract the low back muscles to raise your arms and your legs off the mat. A lot of people just try to lift up from the shoulders when they do this. You want to hold this for 5 to 10 seconds and return back down to the starting position. Final exercise actually has 3 movements to it. And this is our external hip rotations, which again are also very good exercises for the glutes. And if you're suffering from iliotibial band issues, this is a great exercise to do. You want to begin with the hips flexed at 40 degrees, then knees flexed to 90 degrees. Keeping the heels together, lift that top knee away from the bottom knee. So you see the starting position below. Then you see as you lift those that top knee away from the bottom knee with the heel still touching, how you extend that out and open up the external hip rotation. Now the second movement follows on top of that first movement. So you start from where you've stopped with that first movement and now lift that top foot straight up. To complete the second movement, just lower the top foot back down so it's touching the bottom heel. The third variation of that, or the third movement, is to keep that foot elevated with the hip rotated out and simply rotate the knee inward. Come back down into your starting position. Rotate the knee out to finish the movement. So this has been the strength training exercises for runners and triathletes. This is our top 6 exercise we have our athletes do. This has been presented by Coastal Sports and Wellness Medical Center. If you want to find out more information, go to our website, coastalsportsmedicine.com, and sign up for a newsletter.